health and fitness network marketing company. And that's, of course, where I've been building, of course, the greatest strength and the most amount of success with people, with entrepreneurs. So many of the people get started as entrepreneurs and they've never done a home business ever before. Much like myself, I had never done network marketing before, but it's a learning process that you really have to decide that you are going to follow what works. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. Try not to second guess and always look to see what the next guy is doing. I know it's so tempting, and that's the distraction, is that when you've got a system in front of you that proves it works, you have to complete it and do it consistently for a period of time. You know, it's just like that scope we ran the other night about the best stats of the best amount of characters for a Facebook post or an Instagram post, or the amount of hashtags you should use. Again, you can't see immediate change in results on one post, two posts. You got to do it for a consistent amount of time to see the change. And the same thing goes with when you're building your business. Providing that, of course, you are continually to work on your presentation and how your message is coming across. So people could do it really wrong. You could follow a system, A, B, C, 1, 2, 3, and still not have much success. And I have a lot of people that do that. And a lot of the times it's because they, first of all, won't get out of their own way. They really don't want to open themselves up to improving. And they feel that if they just follow a system and prove it wrong, then they can tell someone, I told you so. There's that type of a personality. But then there's other people that, well, they'll follow the process, but they're not getting the big picture. So this is a constant area of development and understanding what society likes. That's what marketing is really just putting the shoe on the other foot. So that's my rule of thumb for every part of every process I ever do. I always say, how would I respond to this? How would I respond to this? So for instance, if I'm making a Facebook post, I would look at it before I post it and decide, how would I respond to that post? Would I want to comment? Would I want to share it? Would I want to like it? And the same thing for any of your ads. If you're writing ads for any of the other social platforms, would you want to move forward with your ad? And you probably got to get opinions from other people. So that's kind of been my background. And I wanted, of course, just talk quickly about who you should be talking to. Now, as entrepreneurs, there's many people who just want to throw as much out there and see who bites. So you're trying to find people who you want to work with. You're trying to bring new people to work and build your team. You're trying to sell product. You're really just searching. And then in the beginning phases, you may follow the system and you may follow the protocol of how to share your business effectively with your list and starting with your warm market and really trying to build on attraction marketing. So you, of course, may be doing that. But then after some weeks pass and nothing happens, and all of a sudden you start getting frantic, that you start to kind of puke out there, reaching straws for anyone. And it doesn't matter who they are, you're just looking for anyone who'll bite. And this is the way you got to look at it. If you're casting out in a lake a big, wide net, just here's an example. I got to give you an example. I know when entrepreneurs are desperate for business because they put out a message that says, I'm taking the first 5 people to respond on this. I'm going to give you free product. They'll send free product. Here's the best one. I'm headed out to the post office right now, so if you want some free samples, let me know right now and I can send you out some. Desperate, desperate, desperate. Who's that talking to? So if I just put a big message out there saying, I'm going to the post office right now and I'm sending some samples of my product, who wants it? Who are you talking to? Who would you respond to that? The thing is you're just talking to anyone. You're looking at the lake and you're just yelling out to the lake. It's like going out to the lake with a big net and just trying to grab anything. You don't care if it's the carp that get all the garbage on the bottom of the lake. You don't care if it's minnows. You don't care if it's bass. You don't care. You just want fish. I don't care. I just want fish. I don't know if you watched the show The Naked and Afraid, and I just finished watching the 40 or 41 days, and they were just grabbing anything to eat. And I'm sitting there going, I don't know what I would do if I would really eat those things out in the wild. I don't know if I could kill, forget what those alligators or whatever. You don't know unless you're in that situation. But that's desperation, because you follow the rules knowing that you're supposed to draw out your perfect contact, your target market. You draw that out. You've got a list. You know who you're supposed to be talking to. You may even be using the language in some of your content that is directly speaking to that mom with 5 kids, because you're a mom with 5 kids. You may be doing that. But then it doesn't immediately work. And it could be just because you have 200 followers on Facebook and that's all you keep talking to. But so then you start just pushing out that wide cast. Here's another example to give you a good example. The reason why, of course, this is not going to work is because, first of all, it comes across, again, desperate, and again, amateur, just an amateur. If you're building your own home business, how are you coming across? Because if you're putting those type of tactics out there, my favorite one is, I'm only accepting 5 people this month to join my team. So let me know if you want to be one of the 5. Oh, really? So if 6 came, you'd say, no, sorry, full, liar. You know you'd take that person. So those tactics don't work. It shows that you are desperate for business right now and that you are searching for anyone. You're searching for anyone. Do you want to work with anyone? Because anyone could be someone of your complete polar opposite. Anyone could be someone who damages the culture of your team because all they do is spew negativity and complain and bash. You just accepted anyone. You just said, come on, I don't care who you are. Everybody, come on in because you're a number. That's what you said. So the thing is when you're building your business, you have to focus on who is your niche. Last example before we kind of dive into that of figuring it out a little bit of who is your niche is that you're really focusing on, sorry, I just had lost my train of thought. What was it? Totally forgot. Okay, so let's move on to that then. So if you are trying to find people who are just like you, your target market, then who are you talking to? Oh, it came back to me now. Who are you talking to? Because when you're running a Facebook ad, so let's pretend you're going to either create an amazing Facebook post and the lingo that you put in that post is going to be directed towards your perfect person to buy your product or your perfect person to join your team. So that lingo that you create is the perfect person. And then again, that doesn't work. So then you again start grabbing at straws. Many times people will put up ads and start putting in the targeting of different demographics that are not any of their demographics. To give you an example, this is where I was going, is there's a lot of people who are trying to build their business. And for instance, I'm in the health and fitness business. So there's a lot of entrepreneurs know people want to lose weight. So people want to lose weight. I don't care if I'm a 22-year-old, because I am. I don't care if I'm a 22-year-old who's never had a baby. I am going to go after and promote for the next month all those mamas who just had a baby to lose their post-baby weight with me because I'm going to help them in a group. Can you? You've never had a baby. Can you? Is that your target market? Should you be reaching out and supporting them? Because then when they complain about being up all night long with the baby who's screaming, crying, and they're going out of their crazy mind mad, I know, I've been there twice, and having C-sections on top of it, you can't move too easy, especially when you nurse, you're in the demand, because I was one of those pretentious nursers, the one that doesn't give any formula. I will not give any formula. 12 months, only me, that was me. And so it's all on you. So how can someone who's never had children know what someone is going through to try to lose the baby weight? They don't know. They don't know. Sure, you could tell them, work out, eat healthy. Why aren't you eating healthy? Because you freaking don't know how hard it is to have a newborn and be exhausted, and it's all you want to do is put your fat clothes on and sit there and take a rest when the baby's resting. You don't want to work out. I know. That was me. They don't know. They're talking to the wrong people. It's the same thing, for instance, of targeting a certain niche. Say, for instance, people who are fitness professionals. Okay? So if you're not a fitness professional by accreditation, by either degree, accreditation, or license, then you really shouldn't be targeting fitness professionals because you don't know their world. You don't know the lingo. You don't know their struggle. You don't know their ambitions. You don't know the typical fitness professional's world. What if your company allows the military to do this for free? Because mine does. So should you target military? Oh, I'm going to totally go target the military because I've never been in the military. I did live close to some of the bases, though, when I lived in New York. So maybe just by association, I can then target the military because I totally know their struggle. I totally know what the spouse goes through when the active soldier is off and about. I totally know this. Do you see where I'm going? That's being desperate. When you're just trying to talk to people that you shouldn't be, you are losing. You are making it harder. Not for everyone else, for yourself. And that's why you can cry and say, why is another month past and I haven't built my business? Because you're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong. Who are you? That's who you should be talking to. What is your life like now? Navy wife here, but he's been out for years. See, I don't know that feeling. I don't know that feeling, and I can't just assume, well, they've got a lot of time on their hands. They could probably work out every day. You don't know that stuff. You totally can. If you're in that world, if that's your world, that's your world. Build your business with your world. So who is your world? Your niche market, your target market is who you were. Okay? So who you were, which I was a pregnant mom twice, C-sections, both of them. I was a fitness instructor and professional presenter while pregnant, all the way up to delivery dates. That was me. I'm not now. You forget some parts of it, but I can support that because I've lived it. So who you were, the struggles you got through. So what the situations you've gotten through, the disease you got through, the horrible experience, the amazing experience, the learning experience, that stuff, what you got through and what you learned and what you can share and help other people who are going through it now. That's one niche. Your current niche is, who are you now? What are you in now? What are you interested in now? What's your life like now? Where do you shop now? It's funny because when my husband and I were going to celebrate our 10-year anniversary last October, we thought about, he goes, let's go back to the resort that we went to in Mexico when we first got married. So when we first got married, we got married in October, and we said our honeymoon was always going to be Hawaii. But we didn't want to go to Hawaii for 2 weeks in October in New York. We're let's save that 2 weeks for dead of winter. So we took what we called a mini moon off to Mexico for a week. And we went to an amazing resort. We loved it. So then when our 10-year was coming up, he goes, do you want to go back? We loved it. And I said, well, maybe it was great for us back then. 10 years ago, our lives are completely different and we've experienced a lot. And we're obviously in a different position financially now. So probably I don't want to go back there again and risk it, because that probably was good for our life then, because 10 years ago I wasn't rich. So that's something to think about, is your life has changed. And then who are you moving to be? So who are you inspiring to be? That's your next direction of your target market. So you're talking to people who are in that world that you're aspiring to be, or they are also aspiring to be in that world. So hopefully just that kind of thought process of who you should be talking to makes sense. And again, you just got to remove the ones that just don't make sense because you're desperate. It's going to make your business harder and it's not going to work. Be patient and wait for your peeps' desperation. Yeah, it's not a matter of waiting exactly, especially when you're in the beginning of growing your business. You really should be talking to your people in your immediate world, or the world that you've been, your warm market. And it's not only just talking to your friends and your family, it's really getting out there and being more social and making more communication with people, and that you are building new relationships and you're asking your contacts for referrals. So even if, this is a sneaky way, just so you guys know. So say, for instance, you've got a cousin that you just don't want to talk to them about the business because you were in other network marketing businesses and you're like, they're going to be like, oh, again. So here's a little technique. You can go through them. So you basically, so I've got a cousin named Kenny, and Kenny's in the FBI. And so I could go up to Kenny, and I know he can't put a lot of his world into public sense because, of course, being on FBI. So I could go to Kenny and say, hey, Kenny, all right, so this is what I'm doing. I just wanted to see if you knew anybody that might be interested in actually finding out more about this. So you go through the person you don't want to tell the business about, but you kind of want to tell the business about. So you're telling them, but you're not asking them. You're going through them, asking them for other people. And so then sometimes that person will be like, oh, why didn't they ask me? Or then they get curious and then they look too. So that's something to think about. But all right, so Periscope, let me tell you guys what they launched today. If you didn't already see it, it was launched this morning, and I was going to talk about it, but I just didn't look cute this morning. I still had to work out, so I was like, let me wait until after my shower and all. So Periscope did finally launch a website feature to be able to store your 24-hour recorded videos. So for instance, we all know that this video stays in your broadcast for 24 hours and then it's gone from Periscope land. So Periscope launched periscope.tv/your user handle name. So now, for instance, if you go over to my Twitter header, my cover photo, I put up a new banner because I wanted to put Periscope on there since, of course, Twitter and Periscope are in bed. And I wanted to put my Now TV on there so that people can watch it live here. And, of course, they can watch the recording now by web. So now you guys have a URL that those people who just don't want to download another app because they got no more space, that's me. So if you've got no more space or you just don't want to download another app or use your airtime, okay, your data plan to watch scopes, that's where now you can use your handle for Periscope. So again, it's periscope.tv/your name. So mine, periscope.tv/Christine Dwyer, and this will be housed there. So any recordings that you have within the 24-hour period will be there. And again, it's on the web. So it's a big screen. You could see people big. That was probably going to be scary big. So the Platinum Edge is actually two things. So the Platinum Edge is a podcast, but it's also my conference for my team within Team Platinum Presenters. That's the Team Beachbody Coaching Opportunity. So the Platinum Edge is my conference that I have in November here in Dallas. So those are a couple things. And if you want to find out more about coaching online and actually working with me personally in the Team Beachbody business, so again, if you're currently in that business and not personally sponsored by me, of course I cannot train you. But if you want to get into that business and you're looking into it and you're considering getting into a health and fitness network marketing business, you can go to livefitoutloud.com. So again, livefitoutloud.com. And you can, of course, get a video from me that shares what I actually do in the business so you guys can see. That's my advice. You know, I kind of look at people when they're trying to decide who to get started within a business. Every business, when it comes to network marketing, you're connected and responsible to someone. So just randomly signing up with a company, you're taking like a risk, you know, of who am I going to get? So if you're planning to ever get into network marketing, make sure you do a history stalk on that person, not their current stuff, because again, that stuff could be always jaded in one direction. Make sure you do a good history search and make sure that you align up with that person. Watch a lot of their content to make sure that it matches with you. That's what I always suggest because again, I look at it as we're getting married. We're getting married. And a lot of my teammates are really super close to me, like family members to me, and that's kind of what I want. I want to have a business that I enjoy and that I don't like, oh, I got to talk to so-and-so again. I don't want that business. In line with the values, exactly. And, you know, teaching styles sometimes are going to be different. So, for instance, my teaching style is very direct. I will share everything that I've had for success, but I'm very direct to the point. And but some people need someone to speak softer to them and you know, pat their butt a lot more, you know, and, you know, I do that, but I don't have to do it all the time because, again, if I have to constantly keep patting your butt, you're exhausting. You're exhausting. The strongest entrepreneurs are going to be the ones who want it and actually follow through and do it.